You want to spin all the wheels on the rollerblade to see if there's any issues. Listen to this one up close. Hear that? There's sand in there. That one has sand too. That one sounds pretty good. You gotta find the Allen wrench that fits. And you unscrew this. Comes off in 2 parts. I'm sure that every rollerblade is different, but this particular one, this is how it comes apart. Take the wheel off, see? This is what the shaft is that holds the wheel on. Then this is the bolt that screws in here. So put this somewhere so you don't lose it. Here's the wheel. You're gonna need a needle or like this thumbtack. And you gotta spin this around. If you can see it right there, see that notch? That's where the retaining clip begins and ends. So you wanna put your thumb here because this thing will go flying when you get it out. Stick it in one end and pull down to release the retaining clip. Take a few tries. If it doesn't work, you can switch and try to get the other side of it out. Doesn't matter, once you get one end of it out, it'll come out. You want to try to hold the bearing to keep it from spinning as you do this. See, it's spinning on me. The retaining clip's spinning. Try to use this knife to keep it from spinning. That's better, but it's still not coming out. There we go. I got this magnet here that I use to hold that retaining clip. But you gotta put it back on, and then there you go. It takes off the cap. You can see the bearing. Look how nasty that is. Just tons of dirt in there. What I do with this, I'm just gonna put it under running water to force as much of that sand out as I can to try to save the bearing. And then you let it air dry overnight. Then you can put I put a small amount of grease in these with some oil. I put the grease so that way it lasts longer. You don't have to service it as often. And because if you put too much grease, then the wheels won't spin. You'll end up going slower when you're trying to rollerblade. I also spin it like this where the water's going in because it's going to come through the other side of the bearing, and that'll help get some of the sand grains out of there. No idea why there's sand in here because those covers close pretty tight, so sand shouldn't be able to get in there. No idea what happened. The bearing still feels pretty good even though it's got sand in it, so at least it'll work for a little while longer. Here's the wheel after it's been cleaned. I went in here and got out as much of the old grease as I could. I also use rubbing alcohol, and it actually is pretty good at lubricating the bearing. And what you can do is spin it around and you hold it at an angle, and then eventually sometimes you'll see right here, the sand that's in here will get forced down right here and be mixed with the alcohol, and then it helps to make it easier to get it out. See that? This thing spins pretty good now. The other ones had sand too, but unfortunately wasn't able to get it all out. I think I might have got it all out of this one, but I spent a lot of time on this one. So what I do now is I put a drop of oil on each side of the bearing, spin it to mix up the oil, and I do it on this side too. See, it spins a lot better now with the oil, of course. Then I take a small amount of grease, just go like this. The only reason I use the grease is so this will last longer before it has to be done again. And I spin it. Since it's such a small amount of grease, the grease will actually mix with the oil and form like a thicker paste. If you look in there, you can actually see it. I don't know if you'll see it on this video. Then I did the same thing on the other side. I put in some oil, spin it. And what's nice too is I'm not putting a lot of grease, so the grease won't slow down the bearing. Wipe off excess there like that on both sides. And go to your magnet and get one of your covers. Put it back on and get the retaining clip. And what I do with these, be careful, you don't want to lose them. Gently squeeze it like this. I don't know if I can really show you. Let me try to show you what I'm doing. I squeeze it, and what I do is I squeeze it, put the bottom in, and then I try to do this to get one side of the clip to go in. See, it went in, and then you just pop the other side in. Then that's it, it's in. Same thing on this side. Make sure the dust cover's clean, or whatever. I think these are called dust covers, I guess. Don't really do a good job because they let sand in there. Actually, I forgot, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put a little bit more oil in there. Then I'll do the same thing. Get one side of this in, yep, like that, and then, well, it came out. Oh, it's because I didn't have the bottom in first, okay. Some of these come out easy, some of these are really hard to get out. What that is, there's some debris there, okay. Try this again. Nope. Might take a little effort and attempts, there we go, to get it to go in. Make sure you can use the alcohol to wipe off the wheels. You don't want to have any oil on these wheels when you're rollerblading. Since I put some more oil, let's spin it. I don't know if these bearings are just because they're old or what, but they don't seem to spin very well. Then you come over to your rollerblade, put the wheel back in, doesn't matter, whatever way you want. The text was going the other way, so I have all the wheels like that. I'm not sure how often you should do this, but you should probably do it at least once a year, I'd say. Especially if you use them a lot. So then this part here, where the threads are, you want to stick that in first, like that. And you get this portion the little bolt and screw that in. And you snug it up with your Allen wrench. When you snug this up, it's going to feel like it's tight, but it's not. It'll still turn a little bit. You don't have to worry about stripping it. You can keep turning it. That's how they're made, I guess. Then eventually, after you get it past those points where it slips, then it'll get snug. Right there. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the notification bell. If you have any suggestions for future videos, leave a comment. This one's is better.